On this round of AirMech, it's Sandwich and the boys against Waspinator's team on Thar. I should have taken note before the game if this was Ultimates / Hyper. I guess we'll find out soon enough if this Hyper shit is popping. I believe somebody mentioned in Global just a few minutes ago that there apparently is an exploit in Hyper or Glitch, whatever the fuck you want to call it, where I guess you can sell units for double their value, which in my last clip a dude was doing in pregame, and I didn't know why. That was why. Or I'm not sure yet. We don't have confirmation on that just yet, but I think that might have been why. I know you guys were all holding your breath like, what was that all about when he was selling all his units pregame? Happy Tree. Grabbing this shit straight off. Dropping boomers. And that's just a nice grab, folks. I think, oh, it probably will go neutral again. But he does loosen up the D on it a little bit. Or the neutral presence there. Oh, look at this. Jin going for the same thing. Not bringing, infantry with him. But scoping this shit out as the green team putting a pretty heavy effort on grabbing that shit up. Oh, but look at this. Waspinator, well, I presume it was him that rolled in with those, well, one of these dudes rolled in with the capturing force and then walled him off with these. Phenomenal team play between the two. And that just wrenched up Green's gears pretty severely. They thought they had this. They spent some money softening it up. And Blue reaps the benefit of it. These Jackal patrols are pretty nice. In that you have to chase them around. They don't take much damage, they don't do much damage. They're just kind of a pain in the ass, and you gotta deal with them. Here you see two of Blue's guys having to attend to this. Happy Tree harassing the fuck out of him generally. Meanwhile, God's very important person has got dudes on this middle. And finally that Jackal goes down to a Blue Armadillo, but not before getting all up inside their shit pretty roundly. Happy Tree stealthing in with boomers. Gets rid of that Seeker. And it looks like that factory's gonna go neutral. What do these dudes got planned? Oh, the entire green team going for this. Sandwich rolling in with the EMP strike. I will always call it the EMP strike. I know it's the static burst or whatever the fuck it is. It'll always be the EMP strike to me. Waspinator tries to reclaim the factory for Blue. It does not happen for him. And he's got the whole team busting him up. He actually survives fairly long under those circumstances and almost gets away, but God's VIP will not allow it. Happy Death, though, immediately avenges him and grabs Happy Tree in the bargain as well, drawing the bleh from him. We're getting all the gold. This is about to be golden. Sandwich scouts this shit out. Decides to stick around and go after their economy. Happy Death's not feeling it. I guess in this patch, the so-called bomber bubble has also been gotten rid of. So there's not going to be any trolling under a bridge and screwing with tanks that roll over it. Or getting dudes from up on a cliff, which is very relevant in this map because there's more cliffs and bridges here than in any other map, I believe. Still all about this northeast. Blue also controlling this southwest factory with not nearly the commotion that's being caused by the northeastern one. Blue making some forays into this territory. Not committing anything major to it just yet. This goes neutral. Down at that southwest, Happy Tree. Yeah, made an attempt to soften this up. Go stealth, sticks around. That's an interesting play, actually. But regardless, Blue sitting on that and not trying to let anybody have it. Now the fight kind of migrates over here. Sandwich and Waspinator flee the scene. Green with some longhorns on it. Waspinator not trying to make abductions on any of them, which is somewhat unusual for a saucer, given that there's all these unattended tanks just kind of chilling. Generally, this is exactly the kind of scenario that would give any saucer pilot a raging hard-on. As it stands, he's content to take to the ground and hit him with the evil eye. Only I get to say that. It's not even that good of a catchphrase. I don't know if I'm going to, like, really fight anybody for it. Up on the northeast, Happy Tree stealthing out with some boomers. And it looks like they're going to go for a fairly linear progression, or at least they were before this thing went neutral. And Blue got their infantries in. Waspinator almost drops that thing down. Am I missing? He doesn't have any levels in abduction, actually. All about that blink, I suppose. And creep respawn. Or creep spawn delay reduction. Whatever the shorthand for that ability is. I don't know it. As everybody converges on this, mixes it up a little bit, and then takes back off. Over on the west, Waspinator tries to get behind Green's lines. Sandwich stealths in. Oh, but he's not able to get that... whatever the hell you want to call that attack. Static strike. We'll call it something different every time, just to keep things fresh. Blue... This is kind of an interesting game in that it seems like wherever one person takes the fight, the entire field follows. Happy Tree providing an exception to that rule as he wipes out Blue's defending forces on this eastern outpost. Stealths in with 3 boomers. Oh, look at this. Kaijin and Happy Death right there on the scene. Yeah, he starts it up over here, and now, like, everybody's up in this motherfucker. Happy Death chases heads off. I know, right? That's what I'm saying. My thoughts exactly are being echoed by Happy Tree right here. KY. Sexy. And it looks like he got it off his chest. Waspinator. Getting a little sexual harassment in the workplace. And he did pull the entire green team off of whatever they were doing before to go deal with him. So props for that. Still with no levels in abduction, which is a very rare thing to see. Usually, I'm sure he's got his reasons for doing it. Who doesn't like blinking around them, especially on a map as large as this one? You can certainly understand why he would prioritize getting that blink in. Happy Tree getting that stealth on. He's consistently been trying to grab this outpost up using stealth boomers. Only 3 at a time for whatever reason. Little bit of a skirmish. Yeah, and every time he does it, it's like the entire field of players just converges right on him. Ooh, look at this. Waspinator. Going for some more backlineage, and now he's got his abduction. Sandwich. Not letting him do it, though. And he decides to flee the scene. Over on the east side, still rough and rowdy. Blue building it up a little bit. I guess they're tired of being stealth struck like that. Oh! God's VIP. More like God's RIP, am I right? Oh, look at this. Waspinator and Happy Tree mixing it up. Waspinator getting away with the barest and finally does go down to Sandwich. Oh. No. You know, the language. You guys. You know, I expect a certain level of decorum when I spectate online games. Fuck your face. Fuck your eyes. Fuck you life. My goodness. There's a dearth of sportsmanship that I am just not happy about. Waspinator pooping out a couple of defensive Goliaths. Green with a few horns. You got to imagine at some point they're going to pull the trigger on this and run them in. Sandwich butt rides that Goliath and gets taken down. Throws out a Japanese emoticon in response to his demise. Here we've got red. Red. That's what that color is, right? Whatever fucking color this is, I skipped that day of kindergarten. They're starting in with the fucking Berthas. That's never a good sign for whoever's on the other end, folks. Look at this. Speaking of which, I believe that is the wreckage of if not a Bertha, then some similarly inclined unit of indirect fire capabilities. Waspinator not allowing it to simmer. Sandwich stealthing in with, it seems like these stealth boomers, or creepers in this case, but for all intents and purposes the same thing, or the order of the day. And getting blown up by Blue's base defenses and saying, "Aw," also the order of the day. Do these dudes have their I just got killed gripe saying on macro? Because, folks, in like half of these matches that I've been playing, it seems that way. A little bit of contention here for this factory. Blue not looking to give it up, and again, I mean, one dude shows up, and then 2 seconds later, all 6 of them are there. These guys are paying a lot more attention to the radar than I am, where it's like, something will happen, and 5 minutes later, I'll show up to comment on it. So we're just about a minute before quarter 4. The situation? Green's up, but just by a little bit. They keep trying, particularly Happy Tree. He is being awfully abrasive with that Neo, continually trying to stealth in with boomers. Trying to flip these properties from Blue. They're repelling him pretty nicely, but at the same time, they're not making much ground of their own. This is more or less the way it's always been. Those creeps are getting beefed up, and it's starting to show as these tanks are taking the brunt of it every time. Also worth noting is that Blue, or at least two of Blue's guys, have bought levels in creep spawn, which is only going to make that shit worse for Green if they just kind of leave this mass here and don't tend to it. And they haven't really been able to because there's always somebody starting some shit up and then everybody has to respond to it. Waspinator, abducting moneymakers, gets one. Finally, looks like Sandwich is going to hit the scene to stop him from doing it. In stealth mode, grabs one of his moneymakers to avoid Waspinator abducting it. I like the style. Happy Tree does not escape the wrath of Happy Death. Any relation? Couldn't tell you, brah. But yeah, this central outpost, it might not be as secure as it once was. Being that these rocket creeps are now in play, and Blue's getting this shit going. Oh, a nice treat up Bertha. That's some next level shit right there. Treeing up your units. A lot of people like to do it with hats. You also see it with artillery. It's all good. Either one works. Generally, with the grinders, you want to get them closer. Preferably, like, within melee range so they can actually hit stuff. But as it is, between these Berthas and these fucking creeps coming in, all of a sudden, Green ain't got it like that in the way that they used to. Sandwich with a bunch of horns queued up. Is it to rebuild this central build-up? Is it to get some other shit popping? Who can get inside the mind of a pro? Waspinator flees the scene as soon as somebody shows up, and that is probably the way to do it, to be honest. I see a lot of guys, and I used to do it more myself. Fuck these saucers. Where, like, I or these other players would be, like, in the middle of a capture and try to finish it off after somebody showed up. In fact, that right there kind of more demonstrative of what I'm talking about, where people just not really knowing when to kind of turn tail when they're mid-abduction. Because the thing is, after you get past a certain point on that, in that abduction process, you start thinking of it as like your unit. You start making plans for what you're going to do with it. A little montage unfolds in your head where it's you and that Longhorn taking walks by the beach, and you just don't want to let go of it when a fucking Neo or whatever shows up and starts lighting you up. I think all I gotta do is survive for like a second and a half, and this is mine. And financially, it is a sound decision, if not necessarily strategically, to abduct pretty much any unit that has greater value than your AirMech, which is just about all of them, and die in the process. Your mom happy. Burn. Somebody call the burn unit because we got a victim. Green's just about to reclaim this, but as was noted before, not as good of a grip on that as they had before. Sam's on it. And only the barest remnants of that former buildup still there. A single berth of returning fire to this little bunch. Grinder just kind of chilling out. Jammers don't do much. In this new build, I believe the change that they made is that they don't stop artillery from shooting. They just reduce the accuracy of it. Which, I suppose, can be frustrating to somebody who's got them deployed, because you still have splash damage to worry about, and it remains to be seen how, how that nerfing is going to affect the actual practice of jammer use. Green with a bit of a drop, getting about 15 or so on that base, which just a few seconds shy of OT1 is not insignificant, given that bleed off is going to kick in just under 5. And with the map control as evenly spread as it is, every little bit really does count. Sandwich. Was that like a do a barrel roll? And is that another thing that the patch does, where if you spin around it deflects shots like in Star Fox 64? Not by the looks of it. Waspinator. Okay, I thought he was maybe thinking of getting his abduction on with these units over here. Turns out he was he had his eye on that Seeker all along. Brings it back to defend this outpost, which is a pretty nice move, I think. I like that a lot better than just kind of leaving it there. Not just because it would be in range of these, but for playing. Oh, God's VIP? Really? Life. Come on. Now we know that he's bullshitting. Anyway, green, short-handed. Yeah, I won't drop the rage quit sound effect on him there. Sandwich already willing to throw in the towel on this one. I find his lack of balls disturbing. I mean, green could pull this off. I'm not going to say no problem, but it's definitely an well, okay. He loves those capital letters. Just like ant venom. Remember that, folks. You know, come for the gameplay. Stick around for the banter. Explodes. I fucking love it. Come on. Come on, Green. You're not going to let them talk to you like that, are you? Green, did Green try to send something in, and that's what resulted? Waspinator getting out of town before he goes down. I'm not sure how effective that tactic is when it comes to breaking up tank encampments. But again, what do I know? Oh, you know what? It's God's VIP that keeps running in these solo tanks. Happy Tree. He's still in this to win it. Does hit the ground, and will he avoid the wrath of Waspinator? It appears so. Does grab level as we approach overtime 2 and that incremental base damage that comes with it. Yo, enough of that. Looking at Blue's base, it's fairly well defended. If I'm green, I'm trying to win this via control. Like I'm afraid. Getting a little bit heated here as we get towards the end of overtime 1. Oh, hang on. My cat wants to hang out. He'll want to leave in like 2 seconds. And yeah, that's the sound of the audience giving a fuck. Sandwich gets his scope on down at the base, and as I was saying before, now let me tell you folks, if there's somebody who you should be taking your strategic advice from, it's me. Yeah, if I was him, I would be trying to grab this, which actually, again, that's going to be kind of a tough proposition. But winning this by control seems to be Green's best bet, and even that's going to be a bit of an uphill battle because Blue is so well defended on the stuff that they do hold. Are you fucking serious? He literally is in here for like 2 seconds and then wants to leave. Get out. It's very important human business happening right here. Sorry, I should have left the camera trained on one of these players. Didn't. I'll remember it next time. Happy Death. Gets crunched. Oh! Wow, that one Longhorn really... Okay, 2. 3? Oh, I see. Yeah, Green's base getting just ripped up by these drops. Blue timed him just right. And that is going to spell disaster for the green team. That pretty much takes the win by map control option off the table. Insofar as it was there to begin with. And like I was saying, even before, it would have been pretty tough going for them to pull that off. Now it's going to be hella tough going. Particularly in the face of if this thing gets anywhere near their shit, that's gonna be game. Oh, Happy Death, ripping up everything in the path of well, I guess it doesn't qualify as a tank line at this point, and it's not even trained on the fortress. But you can bet that whatever Jin tries to drop will be, or at least would have been if he didn't get blown up. Actually, yeah, maybe under different circumstances, maybe Green would have a shot at this. But they're too damn low, and Blue is too entrenched here. Even that front door damage is not going to be enough to sway the tide. And if some sportsmanship for once. That's what I like to see. Hear one of these kids say, "Go fuck your mother's cunt, you fag." Delightful. Good game, I feel.